Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful 3-day weekend. In some cases, maybe a 4-day weekend. Truly hope you had a great one. Nice sunshine, great weather. So good morning, everybody. Let's see here. I need to come over here real quick. I need to do this and do this. Sorry, I have to do this every morning. It's just the way it is. And we'll get that out of the way. We'll get this up. There we go. Hey, good morning, Rod. How are you? Julie, good morning. Daryl, Gold, Alan, Sharon, Bart, Jim, Raleigh, Nick, Roger, good morning. Good morning to everybody. All right, let's see here. Hey, before we get started, I want to remind all members of Hit and Run Candlesticks, Right Way Options, and BYOB Trading. We have our members e-learning coming up this Thursday, September 4th. A topic is going to be stop losing money, critical mistakes, and how to avoid them. Hope to see all members there. Remember, it will be in the combo room. So if you're new, ask in the room, whichever room you're in, Right Way Options, Hit Run Candlesticks, or BYOB Trading. Just ask where the combo room is. But if you know, when you log in, it's right next to the members room, so you can just click on that. But don't be afraid to ask. Hey, good morning, Neil. Good morning, Anna. Good morning. How's everybody? Hope you're doing well. We'll put that in the background right here. I would say that the Bears are winning this morning. I would say the Bulls might be sleeping on the job a little bit. Yeah, I would say that. If we look at the SPY here, we made a higher high, but it's pretty apparent for the moment it's failed. And if we look downward here, I'm kind of looking at possibly that 50-period moving average to get tagged here over the next several days, maybe this week, unless something happens to turn the market around. But we're probably due for a little bit of a pullback, maybe a retest of the 50-period moving average. There's a pretty good warning sign. Here's a good warning sign, and here we're coming back. Let's take a look at the 2-day chart, and you can see that bearish engulf in there. And we really, I know that we did break out. I know that, but it doesn't appear to be with any great strength or anything on that. If you look at the 3-day chart, you can see that the candle here for the past 3 days just not looking so great. So we'll keep an eye there. Take a look at T2123. This was the close on Friday. It looks bullish. If you look at the VIX here, VXX, it started to climb up a little bit and it held itself, and now it's gapping up pre-market here. So I would suspect we're going to be down on this T2123. That's going to put us into a no long trade zone for a while. Certainly not until the market has picked up some strength and moving up a little bit. If we take a look at the diamonds you see are pulling back a little bit. We've got a little gap here. The diamonds might come down to fill. And if we get down in that area, we're getting dangerous close to that 50-period moving average. So really want to keep my eyes on that. Hey, good morning, Coach. How you doing? IWM is gapping down. Again, we've got this gap down here we might fill. Watch the trend indicator. IWM has been, the Russell has been killer lately, and it might be due for a little bit of a pullback. If we just take, say, the highs and come down to these lows, whatever date that is, August, the 50% retracement is just above that 50-period moving average. And I would watch that 227.75. Now, this could be a buying opportunity. It absolutely could be. But until it is, we have to go with what the chart is saying, and we'll go with the trend here. The Qs, We're almost down to that 50-period moving average. I think we can clearly draw a trend line here. There we go. We can clearly see that high, this lower high over here. And we've also got a shoulder, head, and a shoulder we might be dealing with right in this area too. If we bust through the 50-period moving average, let me see if I can figure out where we might go. Well, yeah. I guess we could see that 559. We'll call it 559. Yeah, just below the 50-period moving average, the low of this tail back here, and then don't really want to talk about it, but we could see 551.75-ish down here. We'll just have to wait and see. I kind of hope that doesn't happen, but anything could happen. The Qs Friday. Here in the trading room, we saw the Qs acting a little ugly and not doing too well. So I bought and alerted, members in the trading room to buy some SQQQ here. And we're going to get paid on that very, very well here this morning. And right now, I don't think I'm looking to close this right away. Now, a lot of things could change before the market opens up. There's still quite a bit of time before the market opens up. But right now, I'm looking at this possibly getting up to that 50% retracement area. Yeah, possibly getting up to $20. So those of us that picked up that SQQQ might get paid very well. Or if you're short some Q puts there, or long some Q puts, I guess. The flavor of the, where is it? There it is. The flavor of everything right now in the market is gold and silver. Take a look at, we're breaking out big time here. Look at EXK, CDE, AGE. We'll come back and look at those in just a second here. I need to go look at IYT. Now, the transports are still holding up. Yeah, they're still holding up a little bit. So they could pull us out of this dump we're in. That's pretty possible. Hey, good morning, Vernon. Glad you can make it. Appreciate it. Yeah, they could pull us out of this dump we're in at the moment. Wake the bulls up a little bit. We'll have to watch and see this. Let's see how today closes. The close may be very important and certainly set the tone going forward for the rest of this week. Even it's a short week, but could set the tone for that. And then SMH here. Yikes, not doing too well, is it? Below the 50-period moving average. And that could drive the Qs down big time. And boy, I'll tell you, yeah, we could come down and test real easy. Test the low of this, whatever that date is, August 20th low there of about that 281. And below that, right in that area, we'll call it 279. We could test that. This could cause a little bit of trouble for the market. So if the Qs continue to peter out, and if we see, even if we closed where we are right now, and we started to rally up, and we saw a little failure up here, we're going to have a high, lower high, a lower high, and we could get down to that area right there. We break down there, and I got to tell you, that 200-period moving average looks a little spooky down there. So maybe we're getting set up for Halloween. Who knows? Maybe. RSP, forgot to look at that. RSP, This is taking the big tech and chopping their knees off a little bit, shortening their legs up, kind of equaling out the whole SPY scenario here. And you can see we've got a little gap right in here that might get filled. That'll put us below the trend indicator, turn those dots red. If that happens, man, I got to tell you, I'm going to start looking at that 50 period moving average down there. We'll call it 185. So right now, unless something changes throughout the day, we might be looking for short positions, inverse ETFs. Keep in mind that those are always good ones if you like trading long, and then maybe building a watch list, because this very well may be just a buying opportunity. I'm not ready to be full blown bearish on the market yet, so. Watch for that buying opportunity, build a watch list for the buying opportunity, but we'll be looking at some shorts probably or long those inverse ETFs. So like I said, the flavor of the day, let's see, let me just start at the top here. I mean, just take a look at this EHM. Now, I know it's still here. Let's just get rid of all that. I know we're in a downtrend. Here we are bouncing off the 50 period moving average with a bullish Hiromi, and then we have this gap up. Well, some of these like EXK, big gap. So let's talk about gaps for a second. I get asked all the time about gaps. Am I too late? You might be too late for this moment, but not necessarily too late for the trade. When a stock gaps up and holds, this is important, okay? It's very early in the morning. So a lot of things can change, but when it holds, and it may pull back, okay? Pullbacks are okay. But when it holds, what that means is that the buyers that push this up, which is not retail mom and pop, little Joey and Auntie Nancy sitting at their computer in their home. That's not what this is. The bigger players are seeing higher numbers here. So these are buying opportunities when the setup is right. Watch for those pullbacks, watch for those rests, watch for the setup. For the intraday buyers, maybe you can find an intraday buy on it. I'm not much of an intraday buyer. I'm more of a daily, wait for the setup buyer myself. But gold and silver, like I said, it's the flavor here, man. Big breakout. And these are the ones we need to keep on our watch list and watch for those pullbacks. I'll certainly be watching for the pullbacks. And yeah, let's go back to the intraday traders. For those that follow a 3A trap, one of the, I think, best setups intraday is to take a peek at the hourly chart. Now, it's not going to show up here, but take a peek at the hourly chart and watch for a pullback using that 3A trap on that hourly chart. Because, stocks that pop up like that, let's make that blue, stocks that pop, well, actually, stocks that pop up right here, okay, look at right there. There's your 3A trap right there. And then we had follow through on this gap up. So up, there's your 3A trap right in that area. So those that like the intraday or maybe daily traders that want to sneak in there just a tiny bit, that is a great setup. Here is PAAS. There's your 3A trap right there on the 60-minute chart. Take a look at FSM. See, that's gapping up. There's your 3A trap on the 60-minute chart. There, boom. 3A trap right there. So, and what I'm saying now is watch here. We certainly may move up a little bit this morning and then watch for that pullback into that 3A trap. It's a good place to maybe take a look at it. Okay. All right. Let's go back to here. I've got a couple of charts that aren't gold that I want to keep an eye on. Is Jets. Now it's pulling back this morning, but the trend is still there. Now, I'm not a buyer on negative candles. I'm a buyer on bullish candles. I don't mind paying a little higher for something. I want to make sure that the bulls are coming in there and working. So Jets is one that I'm watching. Um, SOUN. I haven't looked at this morning. I looked at it last night. This is another one I'm going to keep my eyes on. We've got a low. We now have a high. Watch for the higher low and the breakout of that high right there. That's something I'll be looking for. And if I get that, I may enter this long, and then we've got some targets up here for it. ABBV, let's take a look. ABBV is another one that's not in that gold area here that might be worth a look. Nice pop up. Here we are in that 3-8 trap. We're setting up. We're doing a good job. You've got that J-hook continuation pattern setting up in there. MO. I have MO flagged here from looking at some charts last night. And you can see how MO is holding up. Let's do this. I mentioned earlier that, I don't look for charts that look like this. I mean, I look for chart patterns that look like that, but I don't look to buy charts like that. I'm not a big buyer on dojis. I'm just not. It doesn't show that the bulls are in there yet. And here the bulls are here. So that would be a buy. We're looking at a buy this morning on MO. And, looking for that follow through. Once we come through that top, then we'll look for follow through up higher for that continuation up there. OKE. Yeah, OKE was setting up, and you can see it popped up a little bit. Watch for a little bit of rest in that, and we may get that 50 period moving average out of there. Also, ETHA. So ETHA, I've had that on the watch list, and I was looking at it last night, and we didn't hold the T line here. We kind of talked about this Thursday or Friday, maybe Thursday. And it just, I drew this line here around 32.60 here, and here Friday, we hit it and we put some legs on it a little bit. So I'm really watching this. Now, I'm not a buyer of this. I'm not a buyer until I see the bulls step in. I want to see buyers because it's not, it's my personal opinion as a trader. This is just my personal opinion. You don't make any money screwing around trying to nickel dime a bottom. So wait for those buyers to come in. Now we've got something to work with. That's going to be one of my first targets right there around 36. If, only if this sets up as a buy. And then from there, we've got some bigger targets up here that we can take a look at. But right now, it's just on the watch list. I am keeping a close eye on it because I would like to catch that. And if it turns bullish today, we would have a very nice morning star signal on that. So again, we'll keep an eye there. I don't think I have a Honeywell. H-O-N, is it H-O-N? Honeywell, keeping an eye on this one. Here we've popped up and pulling back, looking for that snap back up toward that 50 period moving average there. So that may give us a little something there. So anyone have any charts you want to take a look at? Otherwise, I can just do some flipping through charts. Again, gold is the flavor of the day. Take a look at NG. I have a target at $7.50. This thing has not broken out big time yet, so it's still in buy territory. GLD, I'm a little overextended in my opinion. In fact, GLD is so overextended, it just might settle down and pull back, which will give us some buying opportunities in those gold stocks. Okay. Here's AU. It really hasn't taken off yet. And we still have this top up here to challenge. Good morning, Bal. Can I go through MO again? Absolutely. So here, let's do this with MO. Let's look at a weekly chart. So if you look at a weekly chart, you can, well, I'll try this. This is pretty, I guess there's still room there. Yeah. So right now, this would be a target for me right in here, just without drawing any horizontal lines. That would be one target here. So here, I mean, you can clearly see that MO is in a bullish trend, right? Here we broke out and then up, rest, up, rest, up, rest. Now we're starting to move up again. One would assume we go through life from when we're little to we're old. We're always told never to assume. Well, in stock trading, it's not quite that way. Assume that it will continue doing this until it does not do that. So, I mean, what in this chart is saying that this is not going to continue? Not at all. So here's the setup. We've got the pullback. We're looking for a higher move. Number one, you're going to have to clear that top right there. You know what? Let me get rid of all that. Put this up here. There we go. We're going to have to clear 68, 62. Once we do, then we've got the normal breakout setup. We break out, we pull back, and then bulls come in, and then take us up to that next level up there. And right now, I see 72. Let me come over here, put this on a weekly one more time. There we go. I'm going to draw another line in there too. Right. Yeah, right there. And that line that I put right up here, I think that's just darn near perfect. Back to the daily. So there you go. So there's two targets I have there, Bal, about that 72, then 74.60. Okay. Need some help. Just, let's get in the room here after the market opens, and we'll certainly talk about it as well. Telray, going after a little Telray here. Okay, let's take a look. Telray may be setting up. Again, I'm not a big doji buyer, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, if that's your thing, if you're making money, keep doing what you're doing. You might make little tweaks, things like that, but keep doing what you're doing overall. If you're not making money, well, put everything you're doing in a garbage can and start all over. So, if you're a buyer on dojis, if that's working for you, okay. We're back down to that 50% retracement after breaking out. So right now, if the buyer starts stepping in, that line right there is what I'm going to look for the first kind of a mini target. And then we'll look for this up here, about $1.65 or so overall. But right now, Telray is doing a fantastic job. Look at the weekly here. Weekly is coming very, very close to a rounded bottom breakout. All the makings are there. We just don't have the dots above the 50 yet. But man, the bullishness is right in there. So I think Telray's a good one to keep an eye on. Just stay sharp on those entries. Take profits into strength. That's one of the things that makes an account grow if you're a swing trader. So yeah, good luck. Let me know how you're doing that. Okay, looking good. Hey, Coach. OSTX. Let's take a look here. OSTX. That's setting up pretty good. Yeah. Look at that consolidation. I like that. I'm not a great big intraday trader. And in fact, I like looking longer term and not necessarily just jumping to a weekly. This is a daily chart. Let's try to smooth this out. I've got no idea what it's going to look like. So let's look together here. 2-day chart and see. So there's big swings. I mean, that might scare somebody off. Kind of scares me off, but I can clearly see it's good consolidation there. Let's look at a 2-day chart. Look how that thing sort of smooths out. Look at that. Look at that 3-day chart. That's a nice chart, Coach. That's a beautiful chart setting up right now. 4-day chart. Look at the 4-day chart. Holy mackerel. Weekly chart. You got to love this. Oh, I have to write this down. OSTX. Nice chart. OSTX. We'll flag that. Sweet chart, Coach. Thank you so much. Yeah, OSTX. I've already got it marked up. Evidently, we've already looked at it. So look at that nice round, flat, not round, that's flat fry pan bottom that we have here. And now we've taken off. We're over the 50 period moving average. It looks like that $2.85, just looking over here on the left. What date is that? February 14th. So happy Valentine's Day here. Right up there. But still, that's 13, 14% away. So that's good money. And then this is the 50% retracement. That's my sweet spot. That's always my sweet spot. So that's kind of what I'd be looking at. But I see a trade coming there. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it very much. Daryl, good morning. Let's take a look at PGNY. PGNY. That's setting up. I want to eliminate this candle. It's sort of the outlier here. I mean, I think it is. And maybe some people don't do that. Maybe some people do. Maybe some people's going to count that low. Maybe some people do. Some people don't. I don't. I mean, let's look at the gist of the chart here, and I think that's setting up pretty darn good right there. Let's look at a 2-day chart. We'll take this out longer, like we did Telray. Excuse me. 2-day chart. We're taking on that 200 period moving average. See how it kind of cleans that up. Look at the 3-day chart. Rounded bottom breakout on the 3-day chart. 4-day chart, RBB. 5-day chart, RBB. That's a nice chart. I'm writing that one down. PGNY. That looks like a good chart. Let's flag it up here. Thanks, Daryl. That's a great looking chart. So as far as a buy goes, here we'll keep those lines there. So we're in a 3-day trap. 3-day trap is a buy area. It doesn't mean that just because we have a 3-day trap doesn't mean it's a buy. Okay, it just means that is a possible entry. The rest of the chart's got to look good, and this chart does look good. In fact, I've focused on the hard right edge so much I forgot to take a look at the back edge. Look at that big move here and that pullback. I almost consider that a gap and trap type trade, although there's been many traps before we got into here. But yeah, right through there could be a buy. Watch that breakout in here. If it starts to break out, that could be a buy. And the next target, we might come up and retest those tops up in there. So super chart, very nice things. Coach says there's news on OSTX. Thank you very much. That's a super chart. Hello, Daryl. Let's see. You've got a couple of them there. Plug and Wolf. Let's look at Plug. Look at Plug. Well, you've got it long. You're asking on the long side, and I would say a great big no. Not until the buyers step in. It's trading is pretty simple. If you've got an account that is a monster account, then you can afford to buy things like this that kind of let's flip a coin. Who knows, right? But if you don't have one of those accounts and you're proud of your money and you just halfway fiscally responsible, then wait for the buyers here. And I could no more tell you where the buyers are going to be than the man in the moon, and nor do I think anyone else can ever tell you that. I think it's impossible to do. And as far as like support goes, I can see where a whole lot of people might look right in here for support, but please keep in mind, support means nothing without buyers. So it's all about buyers. Now, overall, I mean, it's a pretty decent chart trying to move up. We're just having this this bad hair couple of weeks right in here. So the thing to do is wait for the buyers. If they show up around that 140, um, you know, my best chart pattern is where that bottom is. You'll see the buyers. You need to see a high, see a higher low or double bottom, and then we need to break out of that high. And I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing on that right there. Okay, so um, it's all about those buyers. Also, we need to take out that trend line. So honestly, right now, I see no buy on this at all. So at the morning for right now. And you're looking at Wolf as well, right? Wolf. There we go. Wolf. That's a different story right there. Look at that. You can tell that I've looked at this before. My sweet spot is right there. And then after that, let's just duplicate this, move that up. There's a second target on this. Anything below 382, I wouldn't want it. Too much risk of a loss. That would be a lot coming to the downside. So if it can hold here, this might be a good buying area, and then we'll look for those targets. I'm going to flag that. That's got some potential up there as well. But the entry is going to be the trick on this one, okay? All right. Hey, it's about time for me to take off and get this put up there on YouTube. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching us live. I absolutely appreciate it. Members of Hit and Run Candlesticks and Right Way Options and BYOB Trading, please do remember that we have members e-learning September 4th. That's this coming Thursday. Stop losing money, critical mistakes, and how to avoid them. Doug starts at 12 noon. John starts at 1 noon, and I will finish up the day or this members e-learning starting at 2 p.m. again on Thursday, this coming Thursday. All right. Hope to see all members there. And yes, it is recorded. All righty. We'll see everybody. Thank you so much. Love to see you in the trading room this morning. Let's work to make some money. Okay. Take care.